Welcome back, Tutor Rockstars. Your persistence is admirable. This is part 4, Administrative Overview. The major impression I want to leave you with in part 4 is that you and I need to have a final conversation very shortly. Let's make a meeting. It won't take more than 10 minutes, but we need to cover some very important topics. Not the least of which would be to find out if this is your first time working for Loyola. If it is, you will find the new hire paperwork PDF at the base of the loop page. Download that paperwork, complete it. We need you to bring in 2 forms of ID, either a passport, a social security card, a birth certificate, or a state ID. One of the 2 of these together so that we can process your paperwork in order to get you paid. One of the other things that we need to discuss is your federal work study status. We probably discussed this in your interview, but it's important that we're sure that it's accurate. It's not a defining category, but we need to make sure that we have the federal work study status accurate. The next thing that we'll discuss is, do you have another job here at Loyola? Again, not a qualifying question, but depending on your answer, there are some resources we may need to make available to you. During this meeting, we're going to cover things like checking your hours. It will be a final check to be sure we know when you are available to tutor, as well as what topics you're available to tutor. We're going to find out which topics you're comfortable tutoring, as well as which topics our faculty have approved you to tutor. So be sure that you're keeping this in mind. You probably marked them off during your interview, so we're going to verify this in our 10-minute meeting. So let's make it today. All right? There is one other thing that I need to make very clear at this point in my presentation. It is the following fact. It is never okay to skip or cancel a group without approval. Just like it's never okay to send a student away who has arrived in our center for assistance, it is never okay to advocate for a student to not come into our center. An immense amount of effort and energy goes into scheduling you with your clients, and the time that you're given together is so valuable. Waste none of it. There is never an instance where there is not some topic or some concepts that can't be reinforced. There is never a time that you can't discuss a topic that may not have been entirely grasped the first time around, or perhaps prepare your clients for an upcoming test, or finally, the final at the end of the semester. It is never okay for you to cut a group short, or for you to sell your clients short by advocating the fact that they may not need to come in next week. If it is discovered that you are advocating the skipping or canceling of a group, you will not need to worry about that group for very much longer. This infraction can in fact cost you your position in the CTAE. One thing that is permissible, though, is for you to add sessions to your groups. Any group that requires extra time or would like extra time, you may feel at liberty to add 2 extra sessions, with approval, of course. This oftentimes happens during midterms or as we approach finals. Students begin to become apprehensive or will ask that they have more of your attention. Please feel at liberty to offer your time. We generally ask that they happen during CTAE hours and that they happen in the CTAE here in Sullivan. However, exceptions can be made to these rules. You need only ask. So go ahead, find out. I'll also ask that maybe you might pick up 1 or 2 of our study hall schedule flyers. Put them up around campus. Maybe take one of our posters and put it up in your residence hall or at your apartment that you might share. What I would like to stress is that you take down the old flyers that you might see around campus. Take it down, throw it out. They look entirely different, and these ones say Summer Study Hall across the top. If you find a Summer 2012 Study Hall sticker, take it down and throw it out. We appreciate your help in this. Along with all of this, I'd like to draw your attention to the Collaborative Learner Statement. This is a statement that you're going to become very comfortable with, and you will find copies of this document in spades at the front desk. If you can't find a small stack, go ahead and ask the front desk attendant. They'll get them out for you. We need you to cover this collaborative learner statement with every client that you have in small group tutoring. It is required that you read this statement aloud with all members of your group. I'm going to read it aloud with you now. This tool is our most valuable instrument in cluing our clients in on what exactly it is that we are doing with all this collaborative learning. We want to clue them in on how important a role they play in both their own academic success and the academic success of all the members of their group. The path to knowledge need not be traveled alone. I have fully taken the first steps towards academic success by being present today in this collaborative learning group. I understand that those sitting with me are my companions on this journey towards academic achievement. Together, there is no answer we cannot find, no concept we cannot grasp, no equation we cannot solve. I acknowledge that my academic success is inextricably linked to the person to my right and to my left. The successes of one of us are the successes of all of us. My consistent attendance of this group is as influential to all of our academic success as the attendance of the facilitating tutor. I pledge to make every possible effort to be present for every meeting of this group, not only for my own academic benefit, but for the betterment of every member of this group. Have this statement read aloud to all members of your groups. This includes members that are assigned late. You must also collect a signed copy from every member of your group. You return these signed copies to the front desk. However, you'll notice that this participant must use their signature and print their name neatly. It is your responsibility to be sure that all of the participants of your groups print their name neatly. If the front desk can't read it, they can't possibly file it. And if they can't read it, they're going to hand it right back to you. So be sure that you get that name printed neatly. Finally, on this collaborative learner statement, you will see in the bottom left-hand corner, acknowledgement of participation. This is so that folks know that we may be using webcams for observation inside of our groups. These are so that we might coach you, the tutor, better, and so that we might provide feedback at a later date, or even use your better example as a way to instruct later tutors on how to be more effective. This is just so that your client is aware that at some point a webcam might appear in the group, and so that you're aware of, in the event of that webcam's appearance, you know who doesn't want to be pictured. Only initials are required in this section, and should your client not wish to initial it, they should feel no pressure to. In that 10-minute meeting, I will also provide you with an outline for every tutoring session. This is just good food for thought and a great jumping off point to be sure that your tutoring session is meeting our high standards. In our 10-minute meeting, I'm going to provide you a copy of our operational guidelines, which roughly cover everything that we're covering here in this administrative presentation. I'm also going to take this moment to point out that we are a cell phone-free zone and ask you to abide by this rule and demand that your clients abide to it as well. While we're on the subject of cell phones, I'd like to talk about our communications agreement. Here's my promise. I will never send you an email that you do not need. If I sent it, there is something in it you need to know. Conversely, if you open that email, you are responsible for all the information contained therein. We use only LUC emails, and this is so that we can track whether or not you have received our communications. Since we don't require that you check into our office every day, and we don't require that you call us every day, we do require that you check your email at least every day. Every email we send to you comes with it a ticking clock. You have 24 hours to respond to every email we send you that requires a response. If you receive an email on Friday afternoon, you have until noon on Monday to respond to it. We need to hear from you in a very timely manner. This is our way of asking for that from you. Please be sure to keep our rainbow intact. We won't send you an email if you don't need it, so long as you respond to all the emails we need you to respond to. So please check that email daily. We also would like you to like us on Facebook. You can kick up your effectiveness as a tutor with our Facebook page. You will need to like us at Facebook by searching for us by Center for Tutoring and Academic Excellence. That's our center's page. You can chat with clients. You can post updates. You can make yourself available to clients using the chat feature. There are many different things you can use our Facebook page for. So make it available to yourself and to your clients. And be sure to like us the next time you log into your Facebook. Moving right along, I'd like to bring your attention to Chronos. Chronos is how we report our time and is a very, very temperamental online system. You must be online to input your Chronos time hours, and you must be inputted into the system. Remember when I asked you if you had another job on campus? That will become especially significant as we delve into your Chronos time card. You need to submit your Chronos time card properly at the end of every 2-week pay cycle. If you have a second job online, once you're inputted into Chronos, you will need to call this number, 773-508-4487, and ask for instructions on how to assign hours. If you have other questions concerning Chronos, you may always feel at liberty to direct them my way. Sadly, there is little we can do about Chronos until we get you loaded into the Chronos system, and that can sometimes take an upwards of 3 to 4 weeks, so please have patience. Once we have you in Chronos, it is essential that you complete the time card every 2 weeks on time. Every other Friday, you will have until 5 o'clock to complete your Chronos time card. If you fail to do this, you must notify us immediately. There is a small window of time before noon on Monday morning that we may be able to correct any error. If we're able to correct this error before the noon hour on the following Monday from the Chronos approval Friday, we may be able to get you paid. If not, you have until the conclusion of the following 2-week pay cycle to bring this error to our attention. If you cannot bring an error to our attention by the completion of the following 2-week pay cycle, those hours are otherwise forfeit. Your Chronos time card is your capital responsibility after your clients and is your way of getting paid. If your Chronos time card is not accurate, you may be liable for an administrative action. It is crucial that you understand Chronos and that you complete it in a timely manner by the 5 o'clock hour every other Friday. Finally, in our 10-minute meeting, we will cover this employment document. This employment document covers everything that we have discussed in these sections here in the administrative presentation and basically acknowledges your knowledge of it. If in the event you come up against any of these administrative policies, we may have to process what is called an administrative action. This is our way of saying you messed up. We will use every opportunity as a learning and coaching opportunity. The first, however, will disqualify you from the Sister Joannetto Award, which is a $200 award that is given to the best tutors in our ranks. If you receive even one administrative action, it will disqualify you from consideration for the term. The second administrative action will disqualify you from the Tutor of the Term, which is a $25 gift certificate that we give to 4 tutors every term to distinguish them amongst their fellows. The third would mean that we would need to take a meeting. This means that we're going to need to discuss what's going on and exactly why we haven't been able to correct the problem thus far. I loathe these meetings and do not look forward to them. Please, let's not take a meeting. Well, folks, that concludes part 4. Please stay tuned. Tour of Tutopia and the one-away listing.